Happy July 4th weekend. We're almost there. It's Thursday, June 29th. Also a very important day. But July 4th around the corner, and a lot of people are going to be traveling. Many of you are going to be traveling somewhere to see your family, to go to a barbecue, to take a more fun trip, go to Hawaii or something, go to Las Vegas. But have you thought about getting your own will and trust done before you go? Are you prepared? Because actually this time of year is, especially in the summertime when there are holidays and vacations, people are traveling, they're on the road, and a lot of people don't have their affairs in order.
Right, and some people are going out of the country, Dan, to celebrate a great holiday. Some people are watching fireworks shows, or they have, like you said, family coming in. So it's just one of these situations that with increased traffic, right, something can happen, and how do you get, like you said, get your affairs in order before you do, and how do you do it quickly?
Yeah, well, this is actually one of the busier times of year for us as trust attorneys. People suddenly realize they have to get on an airplane to fly somewhere home for July 4th or on the vacation, and all of a sudden it hits them, wow, I'm going to be 35,000 feet up in the air without a parachute, and I haven't done anything to protect my children or my family or my loved ones. And sometimes it takes something as simple as a vacation to remind people that, we are at risk, and our assets and our families are in harm's way potentially. And so, yeah, you really should get your will and trust done. And, if you don't have time to go to a lawyer and get it done properly, or the old-fashioned paper way, if you don't have 2 or 3 months to get that done, yeah, you could just go into Modern Trust and get it done in 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, that's great too. There's always so much planning that happens when you're going on vacation, or just even if you're staying at home. Like, we're trying to decide what we're trying to do. Are we doing the barbecue pool thing? Are we going to watch the fireworks show in Irvine or Orange or Huntington Beach or in LA somewhere, right? Or go watch the illegal fireworks in some of those cities that are really banging off those fireworks like it's Independence Day all over again. But one thing too that I also want to mention is this increased risk of maybe even being harmed, or maybe you don't pass away, but what if something happens to you, right? You're on a trip or something and you're not able to speak, you're not able to conduct or communicate your wishes when you're in the hospital too, Dan. So do you have any thoughts about that as well, if those type of situations come up where you're actually injured or you're deaf or mute because of a firework or something? What do you do, right? And how does that, I don't know, I'm just thinking wild scenarios out there that could happen.
Yeah, because not all accidents are fatal. Sometimes they're just incapacitating accidents. And from a legal perspective, if you're in a bad accident, God forbid, as long as you can sign your name, let's say you can't speak. I mean, that would be terrible, right, to lose the ability to speak. But if you can still sign your name and you still understand the extent of your assets and the extent of your family, you can say, yeah, I have 3 kids, and I know I have a home, and generally speaking, I want my estate to go in 3 equal shares. If you can think that thought in your head, you can still sign your trust online or on paper or a will. But yeah, that's just another reason why people should get their planning done. A lot of accidents are debilitating, and the person becomes incapacitated. And then there are a lot of fatal accidents. I mean, look at the, I know we've all been talking about it for a while, the Titan sub.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, in a sense, that's a form of traveling. It's really a scientific expedition. These are explorers, so to speak.
Yeah.
But their lives, when that submarine imploded, their lives are gone instantly. And you have to ask, did they, I hope they had their wills and trusts in order, because, that should be a requirement. Anyone going on a dangerous mission, exploring, if you're climbing Mount Everest, if you're going camping, look at the movie star, I don't remember his name, he went camping and they just found his body. This week. But even regular everyday activities can be dangerous, and most accidents and fatalities happen within 2 miles of your own home.
And that's interesting stat. And yeah, one of the things I was thinking about, speaking of the Titanic, is that, you know, a lot of people are doing some fun-filled events and taking advantage of a 4 or 5 day, weekend or holiday week. And, you know, there's people jumping into Shark Tanks. I mean, I just watched Nat Geo. I mean, this shark just literally busted through this neoprene or plexiglass Shark Tank. I mean, the guy, the diver there, I mean, he barely got out of it. So I'm just thinking, oh my God, I always wanted to do that. What if I go to Catalina and here I go and I'm doing activities, or I'm in Disneyland and the ride doesn't work, or, you know, all the fun things that we really enjoy here in Southern California or throughout the country or even the world. It's like, what if I go do this and then, hey, I'm already here in Costa Rica. I'm already here in Vegas. What do I do? And right, so I think it goes back to, I need that quick fix solution to maybe get something done real quick. And I was just thinking, okay, yeah, I can go to Modern Trust, get it 15 minutes, and get protected. But then my other thought too was, well, if I is it better to get that get it done right away? Let's say I don't know everything right now, right? I'm traveling. I don't know my life insurance accounts. I forget which bank accounts I have, but like I remember I bank with this bank, I have life insurance, and I got this. Right. Do you have any suggestions that if I'm in that situation where I actually have 15 minutes because, kids are running around, my grandmother's here, do you have any just thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think it's better to get it done now, even if you only have 15 minutes, because the trust is a revocable, amendable trust. You can change it later. Get it done. At least that way you're protected, your family is protected. When you get back from your vacation or the submarine ride or the Everest climb, then you can sit down and maybe amend it or change it, rethink it a little bit. But it's funny, you just mentioned several things that have happened in this week's news cycle. Talk about sharks. There was a beach in Florida. It was a Palm Beach. I don't know which beach it was. And 7 people died on that beach.
Oh, wow.
Last weekend, on vacation. So that happens.
Yeah.
Life is precious, and it could be over in a second. I hate to be fatalistic, but that's why everybody should have their will and their trust done before you travel. Get it done, and then you have peace of mind. You also don't have to worry while you're traveling.
Yeah, and the other thing too, Dan, I wanted to touch on that. Something that a estate planning attorney or Modern Trust, that what they'll have is like a power of attorney. So let's say something does, happen to you in the event that you're injured, but you're still alive.
Right.
Can you kind of elaborate on that as well?
Yeah, a will only takes effect when a person dies, but a trust and a durable power of attorney and maybe a healthcare directive, those things become effective for you, for your benefit while you're alive. You're still alive. You just lost the ability to sign your tax return. Maybe you lost your ability to articulate your desires with a physician. And so it's very important, as you suggested, to get the power of attorney for healthcare, asset administration, and the trust done, because those instruments are effective during your whole lifetime, even before you should pass away. If you become incapacitated, those are the important documents that allow decisions to be made by your loved ones for your benefit until you recover. And then once you recover, you take over again. But at least in the meantime, there's the healthcare directive and the power of attorney to make sure your needs are being met.
And then one of the things that I'm seeing too is like if we're traveling too, I see like on Orbitz or Travelocity or anything, they'll actually offer insurance if you're taking a plane ride or something happens to your items. But I'm also seeing it in terms of injury. So a lot of us have healthcare insurance, but we don't know what those limits. But I remember going overseas and I actually got injured in Thailand. I had to get surgery. My lip was fully busted. I had to get stitches. Now the doctors there in Thailand, great job. This is in Phuket, and then we went to Bangkok, and actually they have like the top rated hospitals. I mean, I'm in the urgent care getting serviced by a doctor who graduated from like Syracuse in cardiovascular surgery. Like,
now that's a great story, but you got to give us the details about like what happened. I'm thinking Hangover 3 or I mean, maybe you can't tell me, but yeah, what happened?
No, honestly, I just I was going through a lot of stress at that time. I was doing MBA school. Relationship issues, you're traveling, and then we still had assignments, even though we were a week in Shanghai before that. So we were like, hey, we're already here in Asia. Let's hit Hong Kong. And then one of our classmates actually spent 10 years in Thailand working for Arthur Andersen, so the accounting firm. So yeah, and I think just all the elements just hit. So like we're kind of looking. I just blacked out, literally. Went to the restroom, washed my hands, blacked out, woke up on the floor. So it's kind of like hangover, but I've never ran into something like that. So these doctors are like, this doctor is saying, he's like, oh, it might be a vasovagal nerve. I've actually passed that at the gym before. So why that's, even relevant is something could happen, and maybe it wasn't, so much the drinking or stress. I mean, it could have been just some neuro thing, because I passed out at the gym before. Literally, and
it looks like they put you together pretty well.
They did. Sometimes it could, I got to fix it, but yeah, I mean, it's a very real thing. And so one of those things too, I would say to somebody out there, just think about it. It's better to be protected, especially in a, if you're not close to home, you're not really sure if your insurance is going to cover you. There's just so much complexity, I feel like, out there. And I don't know, I would just be on the safe side, because I can imagine in Thailand, or I couldn't find all my cash, right, or something like that, or I didn't have enough money to get the medical services. I just couldn't imagine what would happen. But they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, especially traveling, there's a lot of pressure. There's unknowns. People get a little disoriented. They get sleep deprived. There's jet lag. Mm-hmm. You're hauling around a passport and a different set of luggage and bags than you're used to every day, and it's easy. And you're out there in very public areas where there are criminals and robbers, train stations, airports. I mean, you gotta watch your back all the time, or you're gonna get ripped off. And so you're thinking about all these things. Traveling can be kind of stressful, but that's a good reason why it's good to get your trust and will done before you go, because while you're traveling, you got to be focused on getting where you're supposed to go, being safe, mm-hmm. watching your back, not getting robbed, not losing your luggage, and then getting back in one piece. That's the goal. So last thing you want to worry about is your trust and will, right?
Yeah. So I think it's important to get that set up, and also for the trust, will, and power of attorneys and healthcare directives that Dan talked about.